Guys, what's up? It's the other night with Night Jiu-Jitsu, and I've got a fun one today. These are some sneaky arm locks. I thought about doing like an arm locks from everywhere kind of video, but it's like there's so many possibilities just for straight arm locks. I thought I would just use like 6 or so that I thought were just kind of extra sneaky. So we're gonna try to take these like from position to position. So the one I wanna start with from mount position, and I feel like this is kind of sneaky because the setup is fairly involved, but it's really good if you can follow the chain of events. What's happening here is this guy's playing a lot of defense on me, and so he's not really creating me a ton of openings. So a good way to kind of get this started, to get him to allow me to set up into S mount, is that I'm gonna threaten like a punch choke here like this. So what I'm doing is I'm coming underneath his head, and my fist, or the hammer fist part, is gonna come here by his neck. If he doesn't like that, then he can start bringing his hands up like that. Once that elbow wedge is open on that side, I'm gonna slide up into position here. Now, I'll slide up as far as I need to until this knee starts to come up, and then I'm gonna hold his head, pull up, and then I establish my S mount position. From here, typically what happens is that this arm is already hooked for a straight arm lock. He senses the danger here, so he brings it over to rescue that one. So what I do instead from there is I'll go through and I get this kind of what I call a do-si-do grip, and I get a gable grip right here on the far side, outside of his elbow. I pinch in and I take his wrist back toward my knee like this, and it's a nice little like shoulder lock. If he doesn't like that, that's where the straight arm comes in. Because if he wants to protect this arm, he throws the other arm on top of it here to protect it, like this. And then I'm gonna sneak back this way here, suck that one up by my armpit, and I'm gonna step over his head here like this, and then get that straight arm. It might have a slight bend in it, or it might pop in front, but there's the finish right here. I'm not gonna fall back if I don't have to. If I can finish it from seated on top of him, then I like to finish it that way. So that's a nice little sneaky one. One more time from this S-mount position. Whenever I get up here, he throws this arm on top here to protect this arm, and whenever he does that, I'm gonna take the top arm. I'm always gonna attack the top arm because it doesn't have a defense. And I gable grip here, I pinch that one in, I start attacking that shoulder lock. He comes to rescue that one with his other arm, and so then from there, I circle that one back here like this, and then I'm gonna go step over here like this, grab the wrist on the way out, and then finish the straight arm lock from top. Next in the series, we're like kind of looking at the top positions first, and then we'll transition to bottom ones and then to back finally. And so we're looking at from scarf hold or from Kesa. So if I have Chris here on his back and I'm looking at this scarf hold kind of position, this is actually a broken scarf hold where I'm reaching far side underhook like this, and then I want to get up nice and high over here, keeping my chest over and centered. This is a really target-rich environment here like this, where I can attack this side arm, attack the neck, attack for triangles, all kinds of stuff. What I get sometimes from this position here is the guy wants to kind of hug onto me like this, at least in the beginning of it. And so whenever he's hugging on, I'm gonna use my hand to kind of frame, and I can either go across his face here like this to push down, or just go palm to forehead like this. And whenever I do that, I make enough space here to step over and across, and then I'm gonna hug up like this by the tricep tendon. I'm gonna go gable grip on this far side because I'm gonna attack this far side arm crush here. Sometimes he senses the danger in this one and he's really fighting that one, but he can't simultaneously defend against this arm crush on this side and this one back here, where I'm just gonna pinch his wrist into my armpit this way and push my elbow back toward my tailbone on that side. So this one's kind of cool because it's like a double arm lock attack, which makes it extra sneaky. I've got an attack over here. If this one's not getting it, this one gets it here. So now we're gonna transition to the guard position. If he's inside my closed guard here like this, however I go to set up my initial arm lock, there can be a lot of different setups. Your timing has to be good, your range, your spacing, like how we set it up has to be very intentional. So my timing has to be on point, and so whenever we get here, no matter how I set it up, and a common setup might be like where I grab 2-on-1, where I grab wrist, elbow, drag this across my center line here like this, reinforce it over here, grab the trap, knee pit to armpit on this side. I'm gonna push him away, come over, and then I have my standard kind of arm lock setup. This could have been set up a million different ways. It's not the point of this video right now. The point is that whenever I do get here, if this arm lock were a little bit shallow and he's able to pull his arm free of it here this way, and he's starting to like pull free and posture up. As he goes to posture up here, I let this foot turn inside like this and hook the back of his neck. As he goes to do that, I'm gonna grab the wrist on this side here, I'm gonna grab the elbow, and I want my butt to go from the inside of his leg to the outside of his leg so that this leg can come up. I'm gonna bite here by his neck and squeeze, so I'm trying to like choke his neck almost. I'm gonna hold here on the wrist, and I'm gonna finish the arm lock just like that. So one more time here is, no matter how I go to set up this arm lock on this side, the point of this one is that if it were shallow or if it were loose and he was able to pull his arm out, I'm gonna slide down, hook the back of his neck here like this. I'm gonna go grab, secure the wrist and the elbow, hips out to the outside of his leg here. This one's gonna come over, hips are way up, as close to his tricep as possible. I'm gonna bite my knee up by his neck, squeeze here like this, and then finish the arm lock just like that. So another sneaky one from the guard. So another example of a straight arm lock from the guard that's a little sneaky is actually whenever we set this up from rubber guard. And there's a lot of different arm lock opportunities from rubber guard. This is just one that I find like really sneaky, and you see it hit in competition a lot these days. So what's happening here is I've got Chris here, I've broken down his posture, and then I've set up my my rubber guard position like this. I'd like to try to get this foot here into his arm, this foot here into his hip, and I'm hugging the knee on this side. I've got my ankle deep on this side. Now, once we set up here, if he feels that there's space back here, he may try, a common response is guys try to pull out here. So if from here he feels that space back there, he may try to like pull his shoulder out that direction as he's trying to pull back that way here. Then I'm gonna allow his shoulder to kind of pass, but then I'm gonna step over here this way, and I'm gonna bite down. So I'm setting up like a triangle with both his arms still stuck inside. I wanna take that bottom arm here and finish for that straight arm lock like that. You almost have a double attack on the arms, but it's a pretty nasty position. And in rubber guard terminology, that's referred to as a dead orchard. So next we're moving into a different position. We're gonna go to the turtle position. If I can get the guy turtled up like this here. So I've got Chris turtled here like this. There's different things that I can look to start to do. What he's kind of expecting is for me to look to get my hooks inside and get a seatbelt, take his back off of here. If somehow I'm able to establish my near side hook, and so maybe it's from the result of me grabbing the blade of his hand, wedging that arm out and sticking my near side hook in like this. Now, I can possibly look to start my seatbelt, step over, take his back, or drag him back. Knowing that here, he's probably looking to defend against me getting the second hook inside like this here, and he's probably watching out for me getting some kind of seatbelt configuration. What I'm actually gonna do here is I'm gonna take this arm from the far side, and I'm gonna shoot it through to grab inside here like this. I want this shin on this side here to come up into the back of his neck, and then through here, look, I'm gonna grab here on the thigh this way, and I'm gonna pull that leg toward me as we continue to go here, roll all the way over here like this. And then we wind up in this kind of position here where I still have the leg hooked, and I can go here and finish the straight arm lock like that. So moving kind of in a progression through the hierarchy of positions here, we looked at mount, we looked at guard, a couple of examples from that. We looked at turtle position, and we looked at Kesa, and now we're gonna explore if I actually have his back taken. Now from the back mount, he knows that this exists as a threat probably if he's been here before, but typically what guys are gonna tend to look for mostly is off of here. They're gonna defend the choke primarily, and they're gonna look at which way I have my arms configured. Sometimes he'll even watch out for me trapping his arm with my leg, but that's usually with an overhook. What makes this one so sneaky is that whenever I go here and I start shooting through, and I'm pushing his hand down, so he has to defend with that top hand against the choke. Whenever he's looking to do this, I'm gonna slide this one back, and I'm gonna grab and wrap over my own leg like this. From here, if I can possibly reach his wrist and his hand like this, then I'm gonna grab that as well. So I'm reaching over my own leg, trapping his arm, and then grabbing his wrist like this. From that position, I'm gonna pull this arm free here. I'm gonna fall over to my shoulder, forward like that, and then I'm gonna push his head away and hook this bottom leg, the one that I had wrapped around his arm, behind his neck, similar to what we did in the guard with the head hook variation of the arm bar. And then from here, I'm gonna slide back and then finish straight arm like that. Okay guys, so there's lots of sneaky ways that we can set up different arm locks. There's lots of ways that we can catch arm locks off of other setups that maybe failed or maybe were mistimed. But these are some of the sneaky ones that I find to be a high percentage whenever we find ourselves in these positions. So they're kind of tricky, they're difficult to see coming, they're difficult to defend once they've already started the wheels in motion. So I hope you like these, and give them a shot, see what you think about them. And if you have some other tricky ones like that, let me know about them in the comments section. I appreciate you guys watching. Keep watching the Jiu-Jitsu channel, guys.